Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? We are here. It is Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the Taryn Lamp Show, season number 9, episode number 6. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the Taryn Lamp Show, season number 9, episode number 6. I'm so glad you're here. I finally learned up at the top of my screen. I don't know how that looks way up there, but I finally learned how to add a title. So I'm so excited about that. I've been saying I was going to do that for a long time, and now look at me. I learned. So we are going to get our guest on. Make sure you are going to YouTube and subscribing to I Am Taryn Lamp, and then going to Apple Podcasts and joining us on podcasts as well. So if you're not able to catch this episode live, it'll be on both platforms. YouTube at I Am Taryn Lamp and Apple Podcast at The Taryn Lamp Show. So let me get my guest in here, Miss Tanya. Let's see if it gets you in here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
There you are. Hello. Here you are in real life.
I'm here. I'm so delighted and grateful and thankful to be here.
How are you doing
I'm grateful
today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I'm going to turn up my volume a little bit. I think I must have turned it down. Here we go. You having a good day
Yes.
so far? Thus
so
far?
far, so good.
All right. I can hear you so much better now. I finally learned how to put
Okay,
the title
cool.
right there. I'm so excited.
I love it.
Yeah, I've been saying for every episode I'm going to do it, I always completely, totally forget. So that's like accomplishment number 1. Like accomplishment number 1. Well, thank you so much for being with us, guys. This is the Taryn Lamp Show, season number 9, episode 6. We have Tanya on today to talk about her journey. I was reading over the card the digital card that you sent me that I put on my IG story, and I was like, wow, like you had told me this when we talked originally, but I had forgotten you had been honored by the NFL, author. You've had so many great things go on, and I think I remember us talking about how this journey has kind of, gosh, it's giving you great opportunity, right? Like, I want people to I want you to tell people what the journey was. But when I was thinking about all those things I was reading over, I was like, like it just reminds me that, like a beautiful survivor is a great thing to say, because it is just that. It's not, we don't think all these things can be beautiful, but you've turned them into a beautiful way. A beautiful thing. So give us a little bit about your journey and kind of what got you. I mean, you were beautiful before and after, so let's just start there. But what got you to get on that journey of being a beautiful survivor?
So I was diagnosed with breast cancer about 3 years ago. As a matter of fact, I celebrated my 3-year cancerversary this month on the 11th. And
Congrats.
Thank you. And it was during that journey that I rediscovered myself. I went through what I call a healing season. I don't give a lot of credit to the C word, but I call it my healing season. And during that healing season, I did a lot of praying, a lot of journaling, a lot of searching, a lot of reconciliation, a lot of healing, all of those things. And when it came time for me I was asking God, like, okay, there's a history on both sides of my family. I'm the 8th woman. So it skipped or whatever. And like, why me? And the response I got back was, why not you? And so then I said, okay, well, at the end of this journey, what is it that I need to do? And I was told that I need to share my journey. Most women, don't want to do that, and that's perfectly fine. But I just felt like I needed to give God back the glory for that journey and to share with other women what I experienced, the tools that I was equipped with, etc. And I decided to go on the journey of writing an anthology with other women who joined me on the journey. And my story just so happened to be titled A Beautiful Survivor. And I say that it's not, like you said, it's not about the aesthetics, how it looks. Is the beauty in the ashes, is how you come up out of that thing. And when I was going through it, I was covering myself up. But then I said, no, the scars, I'm good, you know, and I would dress up, put on hats. I'm known, part of my brand is my, all my fedoras and my hats. I wore makeup. I mean, it was just the beauty in the experience. I guess the best way to describe it is how I embraced it, which was, you know, beautifully done. And that's how I came up with that.
So, first of all, can you give us what
An
anthology is?
anthology,
Can you
it's a
tell us what?
compilation, or it's a yeah, it's a gathering of different stories in a book. It can be
Okay.
you know, 4, 5, 10, 20. But mine just so happened to be an anthology of 5 women, 5 stories, and that's really
Okay.
what it is. Yeah,
Okay.
sharing your story.
And then, so it sounds like you did this. How do I say? Like, how you did this wanting to transition into this beautiful survivor fairly quickly in your journey. It kind of like, did you kind of set out to say, like, I'm here, okay, I'm here, I got it, but I'm not going to let this hold me back? Because I just speak for one, myself, and two, like, kind of like you said, that there are so many of us, because I was the opposite, right? Like, I did not do that. And there's so many of us that still don't do that. So what got you to do that, like, early on? I feel like you kind of had a mindset, like, you kind of were there and you were hit with it, but you were like, nope, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. So, you know, all of my life, I would say pretty much I would start things and not finish them. I would have all these dreams
Mm.
about, you know, I wanted to start a magazine when I was pregnant with my first son. My friends still tease me about that, like, girl, when is that magazine coming out? But for the first time in my life going through this journey, I felt like I had a passion and a purpose. And I've always been
Mm-hmm.
creative. And so it was just, it was like a fire that was just burning in me to get all of this out with no fear. And I just hit
Yeah.
the ground running, and I have not stopped. You know, I say that I'm a breast cancer advocate 365, not just in the month of October,
Yeah.
you know. And not
Mm-hmm.
only that, I think the biggest thing for me too is that I feel like I may miss someone on my path and my journey. I'm on an assignment. You know, I feel that God has put me on an assignment, and He's lined up women or people, you know, to hear my story. I've inspired a lot of women, breast cancer
Yeah.
survivors, and so that's what keeps me going. I feel like if I stop, I might miss someone. Yeah.
I love that you take it so
Yeah.
seriously and not in
And
fear.
I wasn't always
You're
this
taking,
way.
I mean, this is like, you're taking it very like almost like a job, and not, but not in fear. You know what I mean? Like, it is totally your, like, I can feel it. Like, it's
Right.
totally your mission, as opposed to being scared of it. You know, and I think that's amazing, because I think that's hard, when you are going through something like that, that you took it head on, you know, and you said, you know, I'm not going to live this life of fear. I'm going to take it. I'm going to inspire, and I'm going to share, because there's so many journeys, you know, that, like you said, are so many parts of this journey that you may not want to share. So tell us about how you got then from, you know, starting to share your journey to, like I said, recognized by the NFL.
So, you know, I call being on this assignment and me being obedient, like when I set out to do something, like what we were just talking about, I feel like every time I respond out of with no fear, that I'm rewarded. And I just, things just started happening for me. I started, you know, connecting with other women who are motivational, positive. We're on the same page. And I've been an entrepreneur. So I've owned a business, or businesses before. So having that entrepreneur spirit, building my brand, all of those things that I set out to do, I felt like these responses that I was getting from God were just my rewards, and being recognized by the NFL during the month of October. That was in 2022. I was blown away. I have my pen on, by the
Yeah,
way.
I could
um, yeah,
yeah.
it was an awesome experience. And so I was on the jumbotron. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. I absolutely love them. I've loved them for years, and so it was awe inspiring. It was quite an experience for my family. Um, People, friends, and whatnot. When I was there, they were texting and sending pictures and all of this. So they were capturing the moment. They were excited. They were like, "Oh my God, I know her." So I was an honorary captain. I got an opportunity to go out on the field with the other captains of the Atlanta Falcons football team. Walked out. I had to be just like them, shake the referee's hands, shake the other opposing team hands. So it was exciting, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a lot of fun, and it's a so surprising,
Hmm.
thing for you. Just like you said, to be. I mean, I feel like to be picked and recognized, but I feel like the work you are putting into this journey, you deserve it. Like because I can't even describe it. I'm trying to get the words out to think about. You are just
Hmm.
doing this with purpose. I feel like, you're writing on purpose. You're inspiring others. Tell us a little bit about the things. I know you're writing your book. Um, what are other things might you be doing to inspire, I guess, other women along their journey to take this without fear? Because that's the thing I like about what I hear in you is all this is without fear. I mean, I don't know if you maybe had it in the beginning. I don't know how that started, but right now it's full speed
Yeah,
ahead.
this is all new for me.
Yeah.
And I've what I do is I just started a brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess you can call it a group of women that. So what? Let me go back. What happened to me is one day I had gone to my radiologist's office, and I just so happened to be on the phone with a friend, and I was sharing with her, some of my experience and my story, and we were just talking. And you never know who's listening. You never know. There was a woman in the waiting room waiting for the office to open, and she wasn't eavesdropping, but she could hear my call. And when I was done, she said, "I just want you to know that listening to your story has inspired me, and it has encouraged me." And the look on her face, she had a look of fear. And I know all too well what that is like because you don't know what to expect. And she was there just to get some information on the radiologist. And so I was telling her about my experience and everything. And so then I discovered that she was going on that journey by herself,
Mm-hmm.
alone. I had an awesome support. So I can't imagine experiencing that alone. No mother, no
Yeah.
one to be there. And so we connected, we exchanged numbers, and I stayed in touch with her. I would call her, I would text her, I would reach out. And so that, also is just part of what I do. I meet women, I share my story, we connect. And I don't just connect just to say, "Hey, I'm a breast cancer survivor." It's to be a support, whether it be, a spiritual lifeline, or just to, check on you to see if you need anything, things of that nature. And she told me that during that time, she didn't have anyone to pick her up and take her to grab a bite to eat, or, just to get out of the house. And so I said, wow, it would be great to have something where women can gather, share information, share their experience, their knowledge, be there for one another. I love brunch. And so I started a group, and it's an organization called Brunching with the Breast of Us. And yes, so that's something
Oh.
else that I do, and that's new. And we just had our second event, which was a tea party, which was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
But we all sat and exchanged information. I discovered something new talking to the other women that are breast cancer survivors. And so that's just, something else that I do. I do write a lot. I love writing, I love journaling. I feel that it's a way way of, getting things off your chest. And so I've been featured in a few local magazines. I'm looking to get my website together to just put myself out there more with everything that I've done.
You've done a lot of things. I love the seriousness. I love
Yes.
brunching with the rest of us. That is that is the best. I mean, if you came up with
I
that or someone came
did.
up with that,
Yes.
that's amazing. Like, I love it. I can't wait to see how that goes. And you should start those kind of
Mhm.
all over the place, like those can be started kind of everywhere. Once you get it down pat, if you will. Um, Maybe what are some things that you've excuse me, we all have them. It's inevitable. Um, what are maybe some things that have kind of been obstacles kind of for you along this journey? I already know you got through them, but what were some things that kind of stopped you in your tracks, maybe a little bit along this journey?
Um, I would say the very beginning, genuine people. Um, I did run into a situation where it was like a few people that you honestly think you're on the same page, and so you discover that you're not, and that hurt. We go through that, I think, in life in general,
Mm-hmm.
but going through this journey in particular, you lose a few people. That hurt, but it has to happen. Um,
Yeah,
Another obstacle, um, that's the first thing that comes to my mind that I can think
yeah,
of, which is the biggest obstacle.
yeah. I think that's tough, right? Because it's interesting the way that journey affects
Mhm.
different people, um, whether it be in your work life or your home life, and you're fighting your own battle. So sometimes you kind of don't have. I don't want to say you don't have time, but you're like, oh, man, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta keep chugging here,
Right.
for myself, right? And let kind of some things fall where they may. And that's unfortunate. You do hear a lot. I feel like I heard more of those type of things. I obviously going through it myself, and then from other survivors too than I
Mhm.
expected. Like, because like you said, you're like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, in your wildest dreams, you don't think some of these things happen during this time,
They
but they
do.
do. But then again, I think on the flip side of that, like you said, I mean, I myself also had wonderful support from my husband and my mom and my siblings and my friends. And so I think there's those other group of people that, are going to ride for you and die for you, literally. And even in those moments where you may not want to move, even, right? Those are the moments where you have someone take that job that you have and you're doing now, someone took it seriously for you, you know
Definitely.
um, what do you think the future holds? I feel like the future, you have so many things, out there. What does the future hold for yourself, for, like I said, your writing and the organization that you started? What does the future hold?
So I'm coming out with, I've been asked, so just, this is my book. This is my
Mm-hmm.
anthology. And it's called Survivorship, Rediscovering Yourself Through Survivorship. And I was asked if I'm going to keep that going, and I am. I
Okay.
came up with survivorship because I've been through more than just breast cancer. Um, and so surviving all of that to get where I am today, I feel like there are others that could benefit from sharing their story through an anthology about survivorship. So I'm going to keep that series going. And I'm hoping to continue to speak, motivational speaking. I've had an opportunity to do that. So I'm going to continue to get out there and speak and share my story. Um, and I mentioned the website that I'm working on currently. There is so much that I want to do and get out there to literally help women. I don't know quite how. I have it all written down. So I'm sure that, you know, these things have come to me for a reason. And like I said, I just have a passion and a purpose to help women and men. You know, it's not just a women's issue. I'm finding that even more men are being diagnosed as well.
So let me ask you, your book on with the survivorship and the stories, are most of the stories based off of cancer survivors, or can they be stories of all survivorship?
All
Because you mentioned that as well.
survivorship. So I'm a survivor of
Okay.
divorce, single parenting, bullying, abuse, you know. And so some of these stories, there are two women in here that share their story about breast cancer. And the other two talk about childhood trauma and divorce. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So different. So the book can literally be, or is literally, and your series is going to continue to be
Correct.
survivorship in general, like you mentioned,
Correct.
like any type of survivorship. Yeah, I think that's interesting. And how many stories are in each book?
This one in particular is 5 total. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where did you find them?
I found them through an organization I'm in Georgia. And I don't know if anyone on here is familiar with the Women of Douglasville, but it's a very large group of women in the county of Douglas. And I went on the website and I asked women if they wanted to go on the journey with me. And 4 of them answered the call. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I'm so thankful.
Okay. So let me get you real quick. So some people will be watching this later. Some people might just listen to this on Apple Podcasts. So I want to get you to share with us what type of things you might be interested in case anyone is interested in being on the next series, and how they can find you, just if they listen. So how would they find you, and maybe what would you be looking out for other people?
I'm looking out for anyone that wants to share their journey on survivorship. You know, like I said, that's a broad, you know, word. So you can reach me on IG, which is A Beautiful Survivor. And you can reach me also on IG under Butterflip6, I believe it is. My email address is U as in up, R as in Robert, A as in Adam, beautiful survivor @gmail.com. You can send me an email, and yep, that's how you can find. Oh, I'm on Facebook as well as under Tanya Ware, Ware. Yes.
So if you're listening and you know you have a story of survivorship that you would like to share, Tanya is offering us a great way to share and inspire others. And it doesn't have to necessarily be breast cancer. It doesn't have to be cancer in general. It can be any type of survivorship. And she would love to hear from you and hear your story. And so would others. I think everyone has one. So Tanya, in our last 5 minutes, I always ask this question because I always tell people I am like the crazy cat lady. So I save these cats in my backyard. And they talk about curiosity in cats, you know how that goes, never goes well. And so what are you curious about?
I'm curious about finding love.
Okay.
I know that may sound, I don't know, the right kind of love, the love that's, that's for me.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that. I think we all deserve to be loved.
That's for you. You said
right. That's perfect for me.
Yeah, I think that's right. I was just talking to someone today, and it was funny. She was talking about dating a gentleman, and she was just like, how do you know? How do you know? And I was like you said, it's just like the one that's for me. Like she's like, I'm looking for the one that's for me. And I'm like, well, girl, you know, good luck out there.
You know, I'm sure there's someone for everyone. You just, have to just keep at it.
Yeah, and I think, just like you said about, this whole, I like what your mission is. It's like a mission without fear. I think one thing is that you're loving on other people and loving on yourself, right? Like, we can joke about it, but it's all about, like, you took this journey, and I really do think that you took it very serious. Like, I can hear the seriousness as which you took it, as opposed to, like I said, I did not take it seriously, but I can only compare myself because that's the only person I know. I bet, I know what the emotions are like, but you were an open book, no pun intended, because you have the book. You're an open book about what you went through to other women, and I think that's amazing. I mean, you even mentioned scars and things like that the most of us would not, or I'd say for myself, like I said, be willing to share. And I think that's the part of the no fear that I really love.
Thank you.
And how you're going to continue to inspire others. Hopefully understand that we are in this situation, but the situation is not us.
Right.
It doesn't define us, nor do our scars or whatever else we might go through. But that living in purpose and living in intentionality, I think a lot of us can benefit from.
Definitely.
In any type of thing, in any type of getting over. Well, I want to thank you for your story. I want to thank you for just, your willingness to share. I want to congratulate you on all the, I'm writing down, I always kind of like write down little snippets, if you will. But I think this whole mission without fear is right on time. A lot of us in a lot of the world, right? It's a lot going on. So if we all can continue to have these purposeful missions without fear, and love on ourselves and love on others, and continue to inspire, I think that's what I want the show to be about, right? This is what it's about, connecting with people like yourself who are about positivity and about love and about inspiration. And like I said, I learned that today. I'm going to take that in my brain, is just to have a mission without fear.
I love that.
So, and I hope to be able to one day join you at the
Brushing with the Breast of Us. Yes. It's so much fun.
I love that. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so, guys, this is the Taryn Lamb Show, season number 9, episode number 6. If you're listening to this, if you're watching it live, if you're going to watch it live, please make sure you're sharing, following, liking, and subscribing. If you're listening, if you're going to watch on YouTube, you can do that too. And if you're listening, you can listen on Apple Podcasts Apple Podcasts is the Taryn Lamb Show, and YouTube is I Am Taryn Lamb. So we're going to be on all 3 of those platforms. This episode will be on all 3 platforms, as well as the other episodes we've had in the past. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, be good to yourself and each other. And signing out with something Tanya says, let's live our mission without fear. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.